and welcome to our webinar today. Now participants are joining. Yep, we will give a couple of minutes to all our participants to join the webinar. And yeah, as usual, as we have as tradition, let's introduce yourself. Where are you from? What is your occupation? We really have a registration across the globe as usual, from North America, Europe, Middle East. So it will be really interesting to know who is here today. So just type into the chat where you're from. Zurich, cool. Nepal, great, amazing. Hamburg, Germany, Poland, India, amazing, amazing guys. UK, United States. Yeah, cool. By the way, Roddy and Jen, she sent a link to, Jennifer sent a link to her LinkedIn. So I encourage you also to share your LinkedIn links so people can connect to you. It's a great way to make connections. Kenya, Vancouver, cool. Malaysia even, amazing. I love Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur. Okay, Kenya, and great. I'm admitting more people. Good. Okay. Singapore. Amazing. It's pretty early there. Oh no. Yeah, we have around 12 or 13 hours difference. Yeah. It's pretty late. Good. Okay. DMV area, Tia, where it is, I'm not sure that I recognize the abbreviation. Okay, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Got it. Cool. Okay, we will wait just one more minute and then we are good to go. Okay, Karate from India. Pleasure meeting you. Okay. So I think we can start then. People will join us and my colleagues and I will help them to get in. So again, pleasure meeting you all on our webinar that is dedicated to the future of user experience, specifically for financial applications and web banking. My name is Andrew Gubinsky and I am CEO of Craft Innovations. And today I have a wonderful co-host and co-presenter, Alina Gritsenko. She is our lead of UX UI design practice. Alina, say hi.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, cool. So, and let's jump to our agenda for today. As usual, as tradition, I will share a few words about the Craft Innovations, what we do, and where is our area of expertise for those who are new to us. And then we go straight to the future of user experience. And we will focus on three key areas. The first one is generative UI. Then we will talk about intent-based user experience and digital twins. And also after that, I encourage us to think about the digital banking beyond the classical digital touchpoints like web interfaces or smartphones. And we will try to think together about how this future look like and where our customers can interact with our products. And then we will jump to Q&A session. We expect that this session, this webinar will be lead about 40-45 minutes, but we'll see. It's always, who knows. Okay, so let's start about us, about Craft Innovations, what we do. I founded Craft Innovations in 2019, and today Craft Innovations, it's really global user experience research and experience design firm. And we focused on helping financial institutions to create better experiences and better products. And we have three main line of services. The first one is all related to understanding customer needs, customer behavior. So we had do a customer research and journey mapping. Based on this knowledge, we help our clients to prototype new products, design consumer value propositions, and do UX UI design services. And the third pillar is usability audit and usability testing, when we need to figure out what is going wrong with existing digital product and how we can improve overall user experience and business performance through the improving the product metrics. And again, we think that today Craft Innovations is quite unique company on the market because we combine different areas of expertise with the domain knowledge in financial industry. So we know how to understand customer needs, so we provide the research services. We can prototype things. We also think about the monetization models, and we know how to create customer value proposition. So all this in the altogether, it makes us quite valuable partner for financial institutions because we also combine the global perspective as we provide services across North America, across Europe, Asia, Africa, and other regions. And overall, our expertise is like quite extensive. We count for the last 5 years, we conducted more than almost 3,000 usability sessions for different mobile and web applications. And we do this for different kind of market segments, for retail banking, for premium banking, business banking, and so on. And what we are going to highlight today in terms of our vision, how the user experience can look like in a 2, 3, 5 years perspective, and the pain points that we think these changes can eliminate from the user perspective. All these insights are based on our past researches that we did across the different regions. So we think that we have quite a global perspective on what is going on there. And let's jump to the problem space. From our interviews with the users, we saw a common pattern. So the problem is the feature discoverability and overall engagement with the mobile banking apps and features inside that. And this is really a significant pain point for both, for consumers, because they are a little bit struggling to understand everything that is inside the banking apps, as well as a problem for a business, because business want to be, to increase the penetration of their products and to increase the share of wallet, but it's a little bit difficult to do. And the reason is that overall, today's banking applications are really feature rich. And if we think about what we would like users to know and navigate, so it's a lot of things. So me as a customer, I need to think and know everything about the accounts, card management, personal finance management, savings, investments, cash loans, BNPL, mortgages, loyalty, reward. If I am a premium customer, I have some bunch of premium benefits with like MasterCard, for example. Support and security. If I have kids and the bank provides the kids banking and insurance program, I also need to think about that and know how to navigate. Everything this leads to overall user are a little bit like overwhelmed with the information, and they used to try to memorize the things that is like that related to daily routine, like money transferring, checking the balance or deposit the cash. But overall, if we want them to like describe what they know a little bit more about the product, they usually struggle with. They don't know where certain features are. They don't know what type of products are available in the from the financial institutions, and they're struggling to find information. They always and often have to contact support. So in this case, we increase the volume of support tickets in our back office. So not ideal situation, but in simple words, what users want, they really seeking like a job to be done approach for their needs from the financial institutions. And we believe that the things that currently became available to us as product designers and the businesses in the era of artificial intelligence will help us to transform our experience into more better way and more suiting the needs of our customers. And on this stage, I would like to pass the microphone to Alina, and Alina will walk you through the process and our vision of changes in the future in user experience. Alina?
Thank you, Andrei. So let's move on. So when I'm just right, yeah. When our team, so when we're talking about the future of UX, our team sees is as a combination of three directions that our team actually calls invisible banking triad. Why invisible banking? Because actually the goal right now is no longer to make users better at navigating our apps or products. The goal now is to make users' experience such seamless, so users can simply afford the achieve their goals and with minimum effort. So in our view, the future of banking experience will be built around three main components. First is Gen UI, intent-based UX, and financial advisors. But before we're gonna move forward to explanation and theory, I would like to suggest you not just to look at it through like the theory, but let's look at it through the eyes of our users, because after all, we all build products for people. So let's meet our main persona for today, and here is Marcus. And Marcus actually is not any specific persona we developed. He's actually represents the normal user. He has a full-time job, possibly he has like some side business, family, kids, dog, whatever. And he actually has a very limited time. So he doesn't actually want to explore how our products are built. He just wants to achieve his goals and to solve his problems quickly. So through his experience and through his life, we're actually gonna see how our financial triad and all the components gonna work. And first thing we're gonna talk about today, yeah, it works. It's gonna be generative UI. A briefly introduction what we mean in here. So currently most of financial products are built as a set of like predefined flows. To complete any task, user needs to know where to go, what to click, how the navigation is structured, how actually this product, what is the architecture of this product. So generally, people are learning how to interact with our systems. And imagine that every new app, every new product is actually learning everything again from scratch. But with the development of generative AI, we can see that users' behavior is already changing. Because user no longer actually want to search for information. They are simply asking for it. Let's take a simple example. For example, I want to find like the highest rated Leonardo DiCaprio's movies, and I rather not go to Google and gonna search manually, compare them. I'd rather go to ChatGPT or another AI assistant, and actually I will get the answer immediately. So our team was thinking about why we can apply such a method, such an approach into the financial products. And actually generative UI is actually about this. So people, instead of navigating and going through all these flows and apps, they can just describe what they want, and the system gonna build the screen just based on the user request. So we are moving here from navigation through the product to just simple intention. Let's take a simple example and back to our Marcos. And let's imagine that our Marcos wants to know how much money he has spent eating pizza, for example, last month. And nowadays, he needs to go to his app, open analytics, set some filters, maybe some categories, and then we hope that he will get an appropriate answer. So he actually needs to go through the navigational path. But what if Marcus can just ask the system? For example, show me how much I have spent in Domino's Pizza last January. And the system gonna generate this answer immediately on the screen. So without navigating, without filters, Marcus just express his intention and the system just react. The system gave them the answer. So Gen UI is especially powerful when people need to understand or find or compare something quickly. And instead of navigating through such flows, system just gives them the answer. So in this case, Gen UI removes the effort of searching. It can also be applicable to another case. Let's look at another example, and another example it's much more critical because our Marcus has just lost his card and money has already been charged from his account. And he is actually under the stress. And today he needs to go to the banking app, find the appropriate card, find the settings for this card, and to block it. Like it may sound like a simple action and a simple flow, but don't forget that in most banking app, it still takes several steps. And when the user is under the stress, he actually does not need a navigation. He needs an immediate action from the system. And in this case, with Gen UI, Marcus can just ask the system to block his card, and the system gonna do it immediately. So unlike the previous situation when we had the challenge of finding the right information and to go through all this section and navigating, here is the challenge to act immediately under the stressful situation. So Gen UI removes this delay between the problem which our user gets to the solution to it. Andrei, I think you moved too far. Yeah, you can stop it here. Let's move on because when we're talking about generative UI, it's not only about solving the problem with navigation itself, because it can also be applicable into the product discovery level. Let's imagine Marcus wants to choose an appropriate account for him. And what he needs actually to do today to review through all the features, conditions, some fees of the accounts, to compare these accounts, and then to make a decision himself. So generally, he needs to make a research and then take a decision. And we actually all know that people don't think about products in terms of products and features. They think about it in terms of their needs. For example, what can I need? I need save money, invest money. I want account for everyday spendings. So it's not about product. It's about my goal. It's about my job. And with Gen UI, Marcus can, for example, express this intention to the system. This intention to the system. For example, he can describe his context, like I travel a lot, what you can recommend for me. And the system gives him the immediate answer, not just based on a generic sorting. The system understands the user's context. Because today we know that people often have to review dozens of products, of options manually, and not only in case of banking. We are overwhelmed with some products, offers, etc. And this complexity often can mean that they can postpone the decision of opening the product or even never open at all. So in our case, Gen UI is not only improves the experience, it also makes the product discovery and decision-making process much more easier for user. And this is actually not only the value for the user, it's also a value in the case of a bank. Also, it can be applicable into the loyalty programs discovery. Let's take another example, and the same with accounts. Banks today offer dozens of offers, loyalty offers. It can be cashbacks, merchant deals, installment plans, and promos. And the problem is actually not that this offer doesn't exist. The problem is opposite. There are too many of these offers. And nowadays, our user needs to go to the banking app, a banking product, web application, and he needs to research all these offers manually. And then he can understand which one is relevant for him or not. And okay, I'll continue. Yeah, so he need to go through all this offer manually. As a result, many loyalty programs and offers can just remain invisible. And even so, they would be really valuable and for our Marcus and for bank. But what if, once again, Marcus is just describing his context to our system? For example, I'm planning to buy a new phone. What offers do you have for me? And the system immediately gonna generate the screen, the answer for him, and can suggest him different offers. It can be cashbacks, installment plans, whatever bank can offer for this particular context. So instead of forcing our user to research through all the available programs and compare them, the bank can surface the most relevant at this relevant moment. Because the challenge actually today is not only finding the offer. The main challenge is to find the appropriate, the relevant one for this particular context. In here, we can increase the visibility and adoption of this program. So this is the core values which bank can achieve. And in order to sum up this section, so what is actually generative UI? Generative UI is a shift from navigation to intention. So every task nowadays is a separate journey, but generative UI works like user expresses some intention and the system generates the quickest path, or for example, the best products which suits the situation. And actually, this is not a feature. We assume that generative UI is a shift in the interaction model. So it's we are redefining how the interaction with the interface work. But one more important clarification in here is that it doesn't mean that generative UI and such interaction gonna replace the classical navigation. It's very important, and we understand that there will be still complex flows which are gonna need more control from user, which gonna have a lot of variables. So it's not about the replacing of navigation. Generative UI is most valuable in the situations when users need to find, compare, understand something quickly, and it's gonna work together with the classical navigation. So this is actually a very important thing that we need to remember.
Alina, I have a question here, if I may. What do you think? How far are we from seeing such things in the real life, mobile applications, web banking, fintechs, credit unions, banks, and so on? What is your perspective?
I would say that like based on the current stage of AI development and actually what is going on, like early adopters will begin experimenting with such technologies within maybe 12, 18 months. But when we are talking about the mass adoption, it will likely take like 3+ years, because it's going to be depending on like the location, on the region, regulation, and actually the banks and their teams who are ready to implement such technologies.
So, legacy systems and so on. But still, as usually in the banks and fintechs, some development cycle is quite long, and we need to think about that already, I assume so. Okay, let's move next then.
Yeah, we're gonna move next, and the next thing we're gonna talk about it's intent-based or contextual UX. And what does we mean in here? So one more time, today most of actions in the apps and financial apps are initiated by the users. So our users actually need to decide what to do, when to do, where to go, how to do things, etc. But let's imagine, let's assume that the system doesn't just react. What if the system can understand the behavior of our users and acts proactively? So this is actually what we are calling intent-based UX. It is about detecting patterns and suggestion the right action or the right product, for example, at the right moment, which is relevant for the user. So interactions shift from actions which gonna be initiated by the user to confirmation by the user. Let's take a simple example, and one more time back to our Marcus, and let's imagine that our Marcus sends money to his yoga coach every Wednesday at the same time. Every week he does the same transfer, and now it is the repetitive behavior. But what if our system can recognize it and suggest the action at the right moment? For example, on Wednesday at 12 p.m., system just asks Marcus if he wants to make a transfer of $15 to his yoga coach, or even, for example, make an auto payment. So Marcus, instead of repeating the same flow, only needs to confirm or, for example, deny it. Of course, we already have like templates, like favorites, shortcuts, accelerators in the banking apps, but what is the difference? They still require the user to initiate action. So the user needs to decide to make this template and actually go through this navigational path to create this template. And the shift happens when the system recognizes the behavioral pattern and suggests what actually user can need next. Or another example, similar, for example, Marcos received his salary on 28th every month. And he consistently allocates money, for example, across rent, loan, car, savings, etc. And this is also a stable pattern. And today he actually repeats this action every month. But once again, if the system can understand that it is repetitive behavior, next time system can suggest the same allocation right after the salary gonna arrive. And one more time, Marcos needs only confirm or deny it. So the main idea here is that we turn bank from a passive tool which is controlled by the user into an active financial assistant. So we are creating a sense that actually the bank and the app and the system understand me and my personal behavior. But as well as with generative UI, this can be applicable also not only to a navigation itself. We can apply it to a product level. Let's imagine Marcus, who puts his money aside every month into one account and never spends it. Why so? Because he's just not very good at understanding about how all the savings accounts, deposits works, and honestly, he doesn't have a lot of time to figure it out. So for him, it's much more convenient and better just to keep it in a single account and never spend it. But our system can recognize it as that Marcus is showing the saving behavior. And at this moment, system can, for example, suggest him a relevant product. It can be a deposit with a flexible top-ups. So instead of just storing money, Marcus now can grow it. So the value here is not only the convenience for the user, it's also a product discovery. Because the bank can surface the relevant product at the right time for the user. This increases the product awareness, product activation, a conversion. And also the most important thing is here that it's a difference between like a classic promotion, yes, as we know right now, because the product which system gonna offer is gonna be highly relevant based on the user behavior. One more time, it can be also applicable into benefits awareness. We all know that every bank now offers some discounts, benefits, travel perks, especially if you're talking about the premium products, which often include some lounge access, insurance, cashback. And our research showcases that a lot of people do not remember about all these perks right after they activated an account and right after onboarding. So especially, for example, if the user have like several accounts or several cards, several banks even. So instead of expecting from user to remember about these benefits, to find information somewhere in the app, in the product description about such benefits, the system can surface them when the actual user can need it. let's imagine the situation that Marcos is buying a flight ticket, and the system at this moment can remind him that his card includes, for example, the lounge access. And when he gonna arrive at the airport, it can offer the directions to the lounge zone based on his location. So this turns the passive benefit, which exists somewhere, into the active value which user can see right now, when he actually need it. And instead of hiding this benefit somewhere in the product information, the system can just showcase it. And for the user, it makes feel like banking more personalized and more useful. And of course, for bank, we increase the benefit usage and we strengthen loyalty for the bank. So in order to sum up our contextual UX, what does it mean? So it turns actually the bank from a place where users manually control everything, where users do actions by themselves, to the system that proactively helps them to act faster and to discover more value for them. So here actually we are changing the role of the bank, because the bank is no longer passive. The bank becomes a really active financial assistant that can help you to make faster, smarter, and actually more valuable decisions and get value. Yeah, please.
Cool, great, Elena. And I have also a question regarding the risks, so this is quite new things that we are going to implement in the future. And from your perspective, what we need to consider and think about before applying this stuff?
Thank you for the question. And of course, like every new technology comes with some risk. And as for me, I would like to highlight three of them. The first one is equivalent of the effect that we know nowadays, like a banner blindness. The thing is, the more proactive our app, our system becomes, the more noise it actually can create. And imagine if every session includes suggestions, offers, some notes, something else, so user will start just to ignore them. That is why proactive signals must be really limited. And the system must also learn from rejected suggestions. For example, if users ignore something or deny something several times, it should stop showing it again. And any proactive offer when we are talking about products should be highly relevant for the user. Otherwise, our user could just assume it as like bank trying to sell something and actually as a normal promotion. So I would say for this one, the relevance and prioritizations are really crucial. The second risk I could see in here is more about generative UI. When we are talking about generative UI, for example, it's very good. It works very good in demos, but we understand that in the real life, users' request can be a little bit vague and abstracted. Because make something with my money, something like that. And in the critical moment, one wrong action can destroy the trust to the system. And in banking sphere, the cost of a mistake is really high. This is why I emphasize on the importance of classical navigation, because when the system is not confident, it shouldn't guess. The user should always have a path to perform his action with the classical navigation. And the third risk I can see is like a privacy perception, because there is a thin line between the bank which helps me and understand me and the bank who knows too much about me. For example, not all the people can feel comfortable with banking app which knows their location or other details. So this is why it's very important. Users always need to have control. They should understand which data we collect, why we collect it, and when we're gonna collect it. And also users always need to have availability to turn off, for example, some functions. So in other words, to sum up this, I would say transparency, control, and relevance are, like three crucial elements that gonna make this technology work.
Great, thank you so much, Alina. And by the way, recently the Accenture, they published the top banking trends 2026, and there was like data, if I'm not mistaken, that related to North America market, around 85% of consumers, they want to keep control over the AI, access and AI application in their like financial applications. So that you mentioned, lefting the option to control what AI can do and how AI can like, provide recommendations, support, and so on. This is the really good point. And we had a question from Sanchong, if I'm not mistaken in pronunciation, about how quickly do we see adoption of AI recommendation and personalization. Again, right now, we don't have like a white to black answer. So we believe, based on adoption of general AI in like other real life customer scenarios like search recommendations, quick commerce, e-commerce, and so on, they will be ready to see such functionality in the financial apps. And when we had our own research projects on this matter, we also didn't hear any strong objections of getting AI functionality inside the mobile applications. But what Alina mentioned, staying in the control of that is really important. So I believe it could be adopted really fast if it brings value, if it's not noisy, and if it's like designed in the right way, in the right time. So we need just to try to make an experiments, user tests, and based on this feedback, move next steps with our solutions. So I will jump here and follow the next session, next topic regarding the digital twins. I believe it's really interesting technology that will allow to create additional value on the market for fintechs, for banks, credit unions, and solve one of the actually two problems that we observe right now. The first problem from the consumer perspective, that usually from one side, they want to be and stay independent and self-sufficient while they interacting with mobile applications and web banking, but still they are relying on expert advice when it comes to some important financial decisions, whether it's like choosing the savings product or investments, or they start thinking about the wealth management itself, like building long-term investments goals, or sometimes even like choosing the right product when we have a variety of credit debit cards and we need to think about what to do. It's one problem. And when they try to get these consulting services from the financial institutions, so they often can face the situation when they need to wait. And because the availability of experts who can support their informative decisions. And from other side, on the bank side, they would like to provide an expert advice to their customers, but it's difficult to find so many employees to provide all these details, and it's quite cost inefficient. Yeah, and I think that digital twins and so-called AI avatars, it's a great approach to solve this problem. In a simple words, nowadays technology already allow us to create so-called digital twins. So it's a virtual representation of the person. And the approach that we can use here is when we, in a simple words, we train the model and supply to think as we do, as I'm, for example, thinking and how I approach some sorts of things, and supplies with necessary data about, for example, products, risk management, recommendation frameworks, and so on. And what possibilities it gives to us is that people then can access this virtual avatar anytime when they need, and this avatar will provide really accurate feedback and accurate recommendation on mostly like most common questions. Yeah. So, and again, it's great benefit for the consumer because it's 24/7, 365 access to the data. It's again immediate availability of the knowledge, and this is a less stressful for the bank in terms of the human resources on the bank side. Also, digital twins and creation of so-called AI avatars, AI consultants, it creates additional new market and additional revenue and monetization model for financial institutions as well. Let's imagine we have couple of employees that shares really great expertise in investing, and they managing some sort of portfolios. And as well, we have a couple of consultants who are responsible for mortgages and long-term loans or some other consulting services. We can offer so-called these avatars on a marketplace. So let's imagine our Marcus. He want to have simultaneously couple of few perspective on his investment decision. So in real life, he will talk to financial advisor on the bank side. Maybe then he will search and ask the ChatGPT. Then he will ask their friends. His friends, he thinks are capable to provide him this advice. But in a new model, we can give him an option to choose a couple of advisors and to hire them virtually and ask them about his strategy, his decision, and he can compare their answers and take informative decisions. And also it creates us additional value add layer. For example, if you are a mass market and retail customer, you just have an access, for example, for one free avatar in a month in your service package. But let's imagine we are holders of MasterCard premium products. And in this case, you have access to 3 or more advanced consultants if you are a premium customer. Or you can offer a subscription model and you just can buy them when you want and use their services. So it's really convenient, and this is additional approach to solving the issues that currently people experience when they want and to get some additional financial consultancy and advisory support from the financial institutions. So core benefits, it's on-demand access. So it's possibility to get variety of opinions on his matter, and definitely more lower cost of service. So to sum up, so if we're talking about the generative UI, we moving from the classical navigation to intention. So if we think about the contextual user experience, we go from just action to automation and decision-making support. If we are going from digital twins, from just the decision-making and asking for advisory services, we're going to guidance with digital twins, and everything is like from complexity, moving from complexity to simplicity. And right now I would like to take a few minutes and think about the digital banking experience beyond the web interfaces and smartphones. We all know that IT is growing. We all know that the future probably will be some sort of autonomous vehicle, autonomous transportation. We will have a lot of digital touch points. And I think that already right now we need to think about the future touch points where we can interact with our customers. And it could be absolutely different touch points. For example, we need to think about how our financial applications will work in terms of the conversational UI, where we will interact and customers will interact with us via the voice. Cross-device continuity. So let's imagine we are working in the office or at home, and then we have a commute to our next appointment, but we still want to finish our job, and our car is autonomous vehicle. So how we can support this approach so the consumer can continue its work during the commute. And also we need to think about new forms of control, for example, like gaze tracking, gestures, and so on. It takes time. We believe some of these things will be more in close proximity of the adoption, like a conversational UI. The cross-device continuity and the new forms of control are moving a little bit beyond the 2029, 2030. But again, this is a cycle that we need to think about right now. And this is the space we believe we as a Craft Innovations can be helpful to your teams. And what we offer is like Craft Innovations as a co-creation partner to you. We have a couple of like offers and formats of cooperation. The first one is consulting services on the customer experience, user experience, like advisory and research, and innovation, running innovation design sprints and workshops together with your in-house design and product teams. And also we can support you with the rapid and ad hoc prototyping, AI prototyping, and product market fit validation. So as we know, so the future is not really far from us, and we need to be ready today. And I hope that this, vision that we have will inspires you to experiment, to find new solutions and new ways of making experience of your clients amazing. Thank you so much, and we have time to questions. Okay, do you see the trust being an issue in users? Personally, I feel like I would be hesitant consulting with the advisor over the human one. Great question, Sam. I don't think that trust honestly will be an issue, because usually when we talk about the AI advisors, it will be AI advisors branded by, for example, bank and financial institutions. And these AI advisors can run on the proprietary models or the closed models based on the type of the decision that bank or financial institution will take, how to organize it technically. But definitely we need to explain, and it will take some time as any product, new product adoption process to the consumer. So they need to understand how it works, and we need to be transparent, and we need to still have an option to connect with a real advisor if they want so. But just, you need to schedule this meeting. It will take time. Again, from our observation, right now, people still trust even current generational AI. So different kind of copilots, for example, for financial advisor. So this is my perspective on this stuff. I see the hand from Bryce. Bryce, you would like to ask a question, please go ahead.
How we doing, man? You guys can hear me,
Yeah,
right?
great. Thank you.
Talking about, yeah, I was really interested in Gen AI. I was
Mhm,
like, write down a few notes, but then I was kind of comparing my personal experience with Gen AI. And I kind of wanted to ask you kind of have you guys seen different company? Obviously, you guys do a lot of research, but I'm pretty sure you guys kind of do a lot of research on the competition, right? Like figuring out,
mhm,
I think of banks, Wells Fargo, investment brands, Vanguard, Robinhood, all these different companies, right? Most of them treat Gen I as an afterthought, right? It's almost like that, and this is just where we are at this point in time. That's kind of, but
mhm.
kind of what Alina was getting to about making that more of a focal point. Is that kind of the direction that you guys are kind of thinking of?
This is our like projection of the future. We believe the demand on the market and the adoption of the overall conversational UI and conversational way of consulting different AI models will stimulate financial institutions to adopt these solutions in the financial products as well. And again, uh, we have the adoption curve. It's everything starts from the early adopters and innovators. It takes time. So
Right.
then they
Right.
will provide to the feedback on the market. And some companies are going, I don't want to name them, but we have some
Yeah.
financial companies on the market. They are more aggressive and they're challenging the status quo. And we have like other financial institutions that are more conservative in implementing the such sort of technologies. And it also depends on the market and regulation and meeting the compliance demands there as well. So we need to take into consideration all factors. But overall, I believe it simplifies experience of the customer. So this is the right way to move forward. Again, how it specifically will look like depends on many components, and this is the thing where the UX UI designers and product designers of an house team will work together and figure out how to do this. Okay, yeah, I've answered your
Um,
question.
Oh wait, I was gonna because one of my biggest concerns about Gen AI and these type of conversations, they become helpful, but for someone, let me just say some a bit older, right, older demographic, um, a lot of these conversations are just not as natural, right? And I think
Mhm,
some of the points that were even mentioned in the comments were about the human aspect of it and
mhm.
how replicable Gen AI is with it when it comes to these interactions. And so, that's always been one of my biggest concerns, my biggest red flags is like how effective is it truly to imitate these stuff like that.
Again, technology is evolving. The experience is evolving, and consumers will be aware about the limitation, pros and cons of any technology that is on the market. So, some of them will be ready to adopt. Some of them will still prefer the classical methods. It's okay. So, this is like the way how it's going in 2023 and 2024, everyone was laughing about the Gen AI and was joking about like things and problems with solving the elementary math equations and hallucinations that they had. Right now, we take it seriously, absolutely seriously, and we believe this is the curve of the development will continue. Again, I cannot be sure 100%, but from the investment side that everyone is now investing into the AI, the infrastructure, and so on, I believe we will see more and more advanced models as well. We will see more and more specific models to their specific needs. Again, right now, if you ask, for example, Gemini, and you will ask Gemini about the current state with the stock market, for example, you will ask to analyze the Micron or SanDisk or whatever. It provides you actually updated data about what is going on and can
Hmm.
give you some thoughts. You still need to take decision by yourself, but it allows you
True.
and to save a lot of time there. So again, there is no black and white. There is something in between. Someone will adopt, some not. We'll see. And
Hmm.
Bryce, thank you so much for your question. I
Yeah,
will
man.
move
Thank you.
to
Thank you.
another colleagues. So, Kathy, yes, I had a doubt in the intent-based system where Gen I, yes, is what I want to next. No, doesn't feel like they lost control of their financial decisions. Again, great question, and this is what Alina raised when I asked her about the challenges of the implementation. Again, how we implement this solution and how we bring it to the customer and explain how it works may affect the perception of the, let's say, this kind of functionality. But again, I cannot say that you absolutely, wrong. And as Bryce is probably the same answer. Yeah. So some of them will deny and will object this feature, let's say. Some of them will love it, and this is the natural way of things. We just need to be like conscious about them and, for example, work a lot on right introduction, right UX copy, right designing the system where they are going to interact the user in which context. So, but again, so I truly believe that there is more value than drawbacks here. Okay, so Vivian, on database designer, how do you navigate to go to the landscape since my Slack oh yeah, regulatory is really a great question, and now I will go to that. So do live design automatically going to handle that. Like of patterns and users. Okay. Okay, I will try to answer 3 questions simultaneously. First of all, regulatory, it's definitely important thing, and all models based on the European Union AI regulation, North America AI regulation, depends on the country, yes, Canada, they require models to be like explainable. So we need to provide user information about how and why and in which way we work with his data, and ask them consent about, for example, embedding this feature into their story. So it's okay. Definitely, designers have to work on the UI, on the user experience, and AI is more like a technology, yeah, that it's back the interaction. So that's why role of the designer still is very important to make this experience really smooth and to define how it's going to work, because it will be a mix of both. And in terms of the patterns, use products once a while, that doesn't mean they need extend. Yeah, it's a great question regarding the products that used rarely, but again, based on the data that we have and the patterns we can identify based on the usually it's like multi-thousand, but multi-million customer base. So we can predict some sort of activities with the quite high probability of intent. Yeah. So and like try to help customer with our a little bit guessing, but based on the probability calculation. Okay, another question. Okay, from Sanchang, been rapidly changing how PMs, devs, product designers work. How has AI been changing how UX researchers work, particularly in US? Okay, we use AI pretty actively in different areas. So we use AI to sometimes help us to take a look on the research guides that we design. Again, usually it's like a second opinion. We never trust AI in, we don't use synthetic users. And what we see right now, the main challenge is to find real participants into the usability testing, for example, or in-depth interviews. Because recently, just a few days ago, I've conducted the interview from using the panelist from one of the platforms, and I faced situation when the participants just used GPT or other LLM and just answer my questions based on the feedback and the answers that LLM provided to him. And it took me, with all my experience in the field, it took me a while, like around 10 minutes to, nail him down, because I had doubts from the very beginning that he used AI to answer my question. And yeah, so it's challenging, but also AI help us with transcribes. AI help us with like looking for some patterns or quantify some patterns, but it not replace the work the user experience researcher does. So we still do it manually mostly when it comes to the analysis. So that is the most important thing. From the UX UI perspective, we do a lot of AI prototyping right now. For example, if we design some sort of a new feature to them, it doesn't matter, it's fintech, bank, or even other type of the product, we usually after that spend couple of days and really emulate this experience when we conduct this research, and it helps us to create a really good and really deep, collect deep insights, and it's really valuable. So I can recommend use tools like Lovable, like Cursor, or something like that to rapidly prototype things and then go testing them. Okay, do product UX designers need to learn or understand AI? What fundamental knowledge should they have? It's definitely worth to have at least like basic knowledge about AI beyond just prompting the GPTs, prompting the things in LLMs. I recommend to take a look on the agentic part of the AI. It's a big like big presence already. So, and this is a good course from Google on Google Cloud on agentic AI. So on the AI agents that I believe it's worth to take a look to everyone. Okay, so it is getting time user requests from the. I think, yeah, yes, it's true, Bryce. Okay, now I got a great call. Thank you, okay, for joining. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. I hope that the material was useful for you, and again, it gives you some inspiration and ideas where to move on. I encourage you to experiment to find, the way, your own way, and if you need some, third opinion, we are here and we'll be glad to support you with your innovative products. Thank you so much. We will send recording of this webinar lately, and wish you a great night, evening, day, depends on what time zone you are. See you. Thanks.